Welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shafit, along with my good friend,
Artemis Brower.
We're coming to you this week with episode 189. 189. Artie.
Yo.
I know we recorded last week, and I don't know why, but it feels like it's been forever since we recorded.
It really does. It feels like it's been like 3 weeks.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it seems like time is standing still but moving fast all at the same time.
Right.
How you been, man?
Been good, man. Been good. I was a little under the weather yesterday, so we couldn't record yesterday, but we back at it. Had like a serious migraine. I don't know what was going on with me yesterday. I took a half day at work and slept for like 5 hours. I don't know what it was, but I'm good today. Good now. So we're back at it. Excited to be with you. Excited to be doing another episode in good spirits. So we're good, baby. We're good.
Good. Love to hear that. Artie, episode 189.
Yes.
You got a number 89 for me?
You know what? I'm slacking this week. So I need to find one off the cuff here. So if you want to go ahead and go, you can go to number 89. Because I got one, but he was the one I had last time. I can't go ahead. So even though he's my favorite 89 of all time, but I can't go with this one.
I'm trying to think who your 89 would have been.
Oh, you know who it was.
Football.
First name Agent.
Say that again.
First name Agent. Agent 89.
Okay.
That was his football name. You don't know who Agent 89 is, Jared?
Why can I not think of the last name?
Come on now.
Man, I got a kid.
Oh no, we don't know who Agent 89 is.
You got me stumped, man.
Steve
Singh. I didn't know his nickname was Agent 89. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hey, I mean, maybe it's because I'm a Falcons fan and I block out all of the Carolina Panthers.
And he killed y'all back in the day too. He absolutely torched the Falcons defense. So
I'm gonna go with someone that should be in the NHL Hall of Fame or the Hockey Hall of Fame, but isn't. Alexander McGillney.
Okay.
990 games played, over 1,000 points. Played during honestly one of the best eras of hockey from 1989 to 2005-06, the year that the Carolina Hurricanes won Lord Stanley Cup. He's a one-time Cup winner, won the Lady Byng in 2002, 2003, two-time All-Star. Alexander McGillney. Next to Rod Brindamore, he's probably the one that's been snubbed from the Hall of Fame the most. And a lot of it goes back to him being from Soviet Russia and some of the things he said about Russia, I believe. So, but all in all, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Also, I do got to throw, because I'm a natural born Chicagoan and I'm a Bears. I can't believe I didn't say this name first. Mike Ditka, he wore the number 89 as well. He's got to be Bears. He's got to be an honorable mention in here. Speaking of my Bears, so many great moves, so many good things going on. I'm so it's really exciting to be in the city of Chicago right now. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
Chi-Town, what up, Chi-City?
R.I.P. Justin Fields' Bears career. It was sad, but you know what? We got a lot of good things in the works.
Y'all could have got more.
No, we should have. 6th round pick is absurd. We absolutely should have got more, but there wasn't a market for him.
Josh, what's up? You got something?
Yeah, I got a quick 89. Okay, got to shout out Morgan Shepherd, who in 2002, at the age of 86, started a NASCAR race in the number 89 and did so 32 races until 2006. So he was 90 when he made his last start, almost like
age of 86.
That's absolutely insane.
90? That's
yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Got to give a shout out to Morgan Shepherd.
Wow. That
in the number 89.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Hopefully, he wasn't driving like an old man out there. But
if you can still do NASCAR at 86 to 90, like it's absurd.
How could his heart stand that?
Seriously.
Jeez. All right, Artie. Moving along, some housekeeping. Shout out to the Variety Sports Network, Boneyard Podcast, proud to be members of the Variety Sports Network. Check us out. Lots of great content being had. Baseball season, 7th inning stretch is getting heated up. You got March Madness, lots of March Madness content coming out.
Yeah.
And then also the 5-Hole Podcast, where your boy is a guest host from time to time. So check it out. Variety Sports Network. If you're watching on the Boneyard Podcast, go subscribe to Variety Sports Network. You can watch us there as well. But make sure you go subscribe. And if you're watching on Variety Sports, give us a subscribe at Boneyard Podcast on YouTube. All right. Artie, around ECU athletics, not much is going on now. We're starting to get into the time of year where things are kind of slow.
Right.
All we got to really worry about is baseball.
Right.
Basketball's officially over. The season came to an unceremonious end, which honestly, thank God. But spring ball is getting started. And we're just about 3 weeks away from the spring game. Artie, your thoughts on the beginning of spring practice, considering where we were last fall and where we are now to start the spring?
Well, optimism is high, but expectations are still low, right? And spring ball is kind of like the official start of like everything getting ramped up. You're getting, football's still a long ways away, but it's like, okay, it's officially starting with kind of these practices, players getting to know each other, getting to know the coaches, getting to know the schemes, getting ready for the upcoming season. Like spring ball is the official start of, okay, we're locked in for the upcoming season. So yeah, optimism high, but expectations still low, but I'm very, very excited for spring ball.
Yeah, as am I. It's going to be nice to maybe get a glimpse into the new kind of high-powered or fast-paced offense that JDB wants to run here at ECU. So we'll be able to see that and see more of that as we get closer to the spring game, and then even more so in the spring game. One thing to note, Artie, Jake Garcia, Kane Hauser, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
They're splitting reps to start. One day, Caden's taking reps with the ones, and the next day he's with the twos, and Jake Garcia vice versa. It seems like the coaching staff is making sure that they don't fall into the same issue that they've had over the last couple of years where there wasn't really a competition in spring ball. Your thoughts on the competition that JDB and staff are putting together?
I love it. You got two new guys coming in. Why not? Right? It creates instant competition right off the bat. If you feel like you should be the one, go out there and prove it. Right? This is nobody's job right now. We're not guaranteeing anything, and I love that. You are not guaranteed a starting position in this offense. You want it, you go out and take it the way everybody else should be going out and taking it. So I absolutely love it. Somebody's going to separate himself. No, we all assume and believe that Kane Hauser will eventually be the one. That's what he was brought in here to do. But again, you got to create that instant competition right off the bat. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to let him know he's waking up every day with a sense of purpose to go out there and get it and to achieve that one spot, not just because it was handed to him, but he went out there and earned it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I think that's probably the biggest thing is we can't go into the season thinking that we've got the guy and then he not turn out to be the guy.
Right.
Let these guys battle it out all spring, all summer, into fall ball.
Yep.
And then take that from there. Right? Who can pick up the playbook and learn it the quickest? Who can figure it all out the best? Who meshes with the skill guys the best? If you can do that, this offense, I mean, this from what I've seen and heard from spring ball the first couple of days here, this offense is going to be very fast.
Love it.
So
beating people over the top, that's what I want ECU to get back to.
Bring back the air raid. I mean, I just want high explosive plays.
Right.
None of this little dink and dunk stuff. Let's get back to the basics of ECU football. But Artie, I agree with you. I think that having a competition is what is best for that position. I think what we'll see is we'll see real dudes we'll see whoever the real dude is rise to the top, right? Yes. Cream always rises to the top.
Rise to the top, baby.
So I wholeheartedly agree. I do think that Mike Houston has learned from his mistake last year of not naming a number one. I think going into the season this year, whether it be Jake or Caton, we're going to know who the number one is.
It's just good for the locker room. The locker room has to know who the guy is. They just have to know. They can't be going in and week out not knowing who the bona fide starter, who is the leader of, because QB1 should be the leader, and if QB1 is not a leader, then you got some problems. So like you gotta know.
We talked about it last year. I think that was maybe the biggest issue with ECU football, at least on the offense. There wasn't a true leader in the locker room. Yeah, you got Raj in there, but there wasn't a true guy. Right now, going into this year, you're gonna have several of those guys. I think Shane Calhoun steps into that role. You also got Raj coming back. You've got Chase Soul coming back. Like these guys,
his season upcoming. I'm excited for Chase. I think he's gonna be a breakout receiver.
They brought in a lot of talent in that room, but he is still, to me, wide receiver one.
If he wants it, it's there.
Every day of the week, that kid can ball. That kid can absolutely ball. So, I'm excited to see what comes for ECU football. But I think this spring game might be one of the most exciting, most interesting ones that we've had in quite some time.
Right.
So, April 13th, get out to Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, go to the spring game. That evening, ECU plays Charlotte in baseball at home. So let's just make it a day. Let's make it a day. Let's start with the pigskin pig out, get you some barbecue, get you a couple beers, tailgate the spring game, go into the spring game, enjoy it, and then let's go whoop up on the 49ers that night.
And it should be a beautiful day too. Spring in Greenville is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot say the same for summer in Greenville. Summer in Greenville is absolutely atrocious, awful. But spring in Greenville is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I would put summer in Greenville maybe
awful.
Right behind Fayetteville summer.
Oh. And I spent my fair shares of summers in Greenville, so I don't need nobody educate me on Greenville summers. It is awful.
Greenville summer is just I'll be honest, like I was only there a little bit in the summer, but from what I know, what I've been and what I've seen, it is it's hot. We need it. That's when we need the indoor practice facility.
Yes,
is during the summer when it's 95 degrees outside with 100% humidity, and these guys are sweating their bags off.
It's swamp-like, man. It's not just hot, but it's swamp-like. It's just like, oh, just put me inside.
Yeah, you walk out, it feels like you're in a sauna.
But it's spring, beautiful.
Spring, I love I love mid to late March, April, and Greenville. I also love like mid to late October, early November.
Yeah,
in Greenville, beautiful.
Yeah. It is. It is.
I mean, you can't beat it. But in between, there's some times where it's like But So Artie, the pigskin pig out, the winner will be announced, I believe, at 10 a.m. on before the spring game, 10 a.m. for the pigskin pig out. Then from 10 to 3 o'clock, you can purchase barbecue plates. You can get your barbecue, you get your fixins, $12. They also will have drinks, Pepsi products, bottled water, beer and wine, all available for purchase. And then it'll be outside of the Town Bank Tower on the south side of the stadium. Make sure to remember it is going to be cashless. So make sure that you bring a card and who doesn't have a debit card?
Welcome to 2024 though, man. No cash. You
no cash
allowed. Welcome to 2024.
Cash money.
That's crazy.
And then so after that, 10:30 to 11:30 will be the football team meet and greet. Then Artie, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, none other than Eastern North Carolina's own Spare Change will be playing a concert. Come watch this local band. Look, Artie, when I say my family is maybe the biggest Spare Change fans, I'm not lying.
That's not an understatement.
Like, my family hangs out with Spare Change, honestly. Down at the Emerald Club at Emerald Isle, North Carolina, or Jack's. Yeah. Love us some Spare Change. So make sure you go out there, enjoy that. It's a good time. And then at 1 o'clock, Purple and Gold spring game. Come enjoy it. And then 4 o'clock, first pitch against Charlotte. So lots to do in Greenville that day. It's gonna be a fun weekend to be a Pirate, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna try to be there. I'm gonna try to get down there for the spring game. So we'll we're excited about it. Artie, can you make that? Can you make that?
I was just about to say, when is because the spring game is April what?
13th.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm probably not. That's literally our cruise comes back that Friday, right?
Oh, you can make
so
that.
That's literally the day after a week-long cruise. I cannot promise. That. I can't promise I'm making a 3-hour drive to Greenville.
You can just ride with me. Just ride with me.
You know, if I got the energy, I will hit you up that next morning. I'll be like, Jared, let's do it. Let's roll. But that's literally.
I'm just gonna be banging down your door and be like, Artie, let's go.
Like, I don't know. I'm gonna need a day to recoup, and I might need 2 days. So I might need that full Saturday and Sunday to recoup after that week-long cruise. But
Artie, I got a couple words for you. Don't be a bitch.
I technically can't make it though. You heard it here first on the podcast. I can technically make.
Artie will be there.
Technically,
come get your Artie autographs. Call them Artie graphs.
Can't make no promises on that.
Anything else on the spring game, spring ball? We'll talk more about it as we roll along.
I'll say this because we were talking about this before the podcast. Spare Change is a really good cover band. I will give them that. They are a good time. They're a good cover band. Now, granted, the 2 or 3 times that I've seen them was with Jared's family, and we were definitely drunk, but we were having a good time. So they're a good cover band.
My family can absolutely get after it.
Yes.
Make no bones about it. That's if there's one thing that we can do, it's get after it. Artie, basketball.
Yes.
So the basketball season comes to an end. Like I said earlier, not much fanfare, just right off into the sunset, put them out to pasture, and call it a day. Your thoughts on the finish to ECU basketball season?
Yeah, it is what it is. We talked about it last week. Finished 15-18. Look, we got to win in the tournament, and back-to-back seasons with wins in the tournament. So I'm guessing that is something to kind of be proud of because we're low-key making steps towards the right direction. But we've got to be able to finish over 500. We've got to be able to put something together, especially towards the back into the season, when you get into conference play, the non-conference for ECU is usually pretty good, right? And then as soon as we get into conference play, it's like, oh, okay, we remember that we're not a good program. We start losing to good teams, this, that, and the third. We're not meshing. We're not. So whatever it is, we've got to be able to put it together in conference play going into next season. Schwartz is not on the hot seat, but it's definitely something that's got to be turned around pretty quickly, as far as at least being able to compete in conference. Like, we're not asking for NCAA tournament appearances, but we are asking to at least compete in conference, to get past that first round of the American Athletic Conference tournament, or past the second round, I should say, of the American Athletic Conference tournament. But going forward, the women's team, I have full faith. I coach Kim McNeil. I have full faith. She's gonna retool. She's gonna regroup. She's gonna have a pretty good class coming in and a pretty good group next season. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to go out and win the conference and do this, that, and the third, but she's a hell of a coach. So I have full faith that the women are not going to dip, if not get a little bit better. But yeah, it is what it is with basketball, man.
Yeah. Part of me is always excited. Like, we always get excited for basketball to start the season, right? We hear about, there's so much more talent. There's these exciting transfers came in. ECU's going to be better offensively.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're halfway through the season and we're like, same shit, different day, move along. And I don't know, Artie. I'm just at the point to where it's hard to care. Like, I love ECU basketball. I mean, you know how much I love ECU basketball. How many times I was like, hey, I'm going to the game knowing we were going to get blown out.
Oh, yeah.
But I just don't know. Every year, like, I get excited. I'm like, oh, this year's going to be different. And then we finish middle of the pack in the American. And I'm like, okay, we're going into the conference tournament. Let's win one game. I just want us to go on a run. Look at UAB and Temple. They both went on a run in the conference tournament.
Temple went to the conference championship game with a losing record. 3 games under 500.
As the 11th seed
got
in the
into
tournament.
That's just absurd. Absurd.
Yeah.
Look, honestly though, what hurts the most and what would keep me up at night is that we literally have a former guard who is an AP All-American, and he's literally on his way to back-to-back national championships. He was a former guard here at East Carolina University, and he's an All-American, first team. That's what keeps me up at night. So, yeah.
That seems to be the norm lately, right? Like, ECU has some talent, and then they transfer out. But they weren't who. Like, don't get me wrong, Tristan Newton, stud at ECU, transfers to UConn, becomes a nationally known star, right? And I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know what to say. It just seems like Minji's. I've seen people throw this around. As, I'm guessing it's, of course, jokingly, right? At least I think Minji's must be built on like an Indian burial ground. Like, this program is the most snake bitten program that I've ever seen. Like, they're never good enough, right? Like, they're never good enough to be like really in the mix. You've got guys, and you've got what you think is a decent coach,
right?
But there's never enough. And I don't know. They won one game. We'll see. We'll see what happens next year. But I've almost given up on ever thinking that ECU is going to be competitive in basketball.
Hey, look, we're going to come back every year. Still with hope, though. Every year.
Talking about the transfers, Brandon Johnson, Caleb LeCount, and Ben Biala all enter the transfer portal. None that are like, honestly, like, outside of Brandon Johnson, the other two, okay, like
yeah. The other two weren't. I mean, they were averaging 2 or 3 points for the season. They weren't putting in much minutes. They weren't production.
But Bayala had a pretty strong start to the season and then kind of fell off. But
yeah,
I mean, Caleb LeCount, I mean, dude's all of 5'6". I don't know. Every time I saw him on the court, I was just like, this is who we're fielding in a D1 basketball game.
Yeah.
Dude had some skill, but still, I mean, I just feel like anytime you lack that much size, you're going to struggle.
Right.
At D1 level, you're going to struggle. Brandon Johnson, he's going to go off somewhere, and he's probably going to get some offers at, I would guess, potentially some Power 5 schools, and see what he can do, right? But as far as the group, you keep RJ Felton and you build around him. But you can't waste a talent like RJ Felton. So, but then again, ECU has wasted plenty of talent in the past. But he's already said he's coming back. So, Artie, your thoughts? I mean, just where we're at with ECU basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with the Felton, rhetoric, and with these three transfer, not like you said, Brandon Johnson was the only one that actually has some significance to him. 14-9. He was, when he wanted to be, was a walking double. So that production is going to be missed, and watch he goes somewhere else and turns into a great player. That's just ECU's luck. But if you're not missing 2 out of the 3, and really, it's not like Brandon Johnson was like the catalyst to a great ECU basketball club. So going forward, just hopefully that it's developing the talent that we do have, right? Because it's never really been about not being able to recruit or get talent in here. It's about developing that talent and making it a cohesive unit. So hopefully going forward, we can actually do that. Hopefully Felton is the catalyst. Some of these other guys can come back and be the catalyst for that, but not really losing any sleep over these guys trashing out.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Artie, let's just move on. Let's wipe our hands clean, throw it away. Basketball season, the book is closed.
Yeah.
No more until right around next October. Sound good?
Let's do it. Let's talk about something positive.
I'm sure we'll talk some basketball at some point, but man. Well, did Kentucky just lose? Is that what the text messages that I'm getting are about?
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Man, I had Kentucky in the Final Four.
Hold on. Oh, yes. 80-76. You are hearing it live. 80-76. Oakland over Kentucky. My goodness.
And just like I sent in the group, guys, like I think Coach Calipari's documentary, when he's like 85 years old in the rocking chair, this point's going to be one of them. This season with these players and this result of the season, that's a part of it. Like that is a focus. This is like Jordan retiring and coming back. Like that's like that. Like you got to focus on that for like 2 episodes. Like that
is crazy. Oakland.
Is this the end? Is this the end?
Artie, where's Oakland University? I will, Artie. I will send somebody who puts their Cash App in the chat. I will send them $10 if you can tell me what state Oakland is in.
I mean, look, man, I want to say Oakland, California, but I know it's not Oakland, California, so I don't know. I don't know where Oakland is at.
I'm pretty sure it's in Michigan somewhere, right?
It is in Michigan.
Is
Oakland, Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I figured it was in Michigan.
All right.
Wow. There goes your bracket, Jay. And you had Kentucky in the Final Four. No, sir. Call it a night. The party's over. It's over.
Josh, while we're talking about, do you have the brackets Can we share those? The Boneyard Podcast Bracket Challenge. I am basically dead last in this. Just like ECU's basketball season, my bracket had no chance.
Why the Final Four? Why did you have that much faith in Kentucky? I do want to ask you that.
Just the matchups. Also, I was doing it quick. I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta get this in."
Yeah.
So being honest, like I was. Look, I still think Houston's gonna win it all. I have Houston winning it. So,
I mean, most people are screwed. I didn't have Oakland over Kentucky, so most people are screwed. But
whose is this, Josh?
Oh, this is me.
That's you.
This is Artie's.
Illinois in the Final Four. Wow.
Yeah. No, that's the Elite Eight.
No, I was about to say, I think
the Elite Eight.
I don't think I had them in the
That's
Final
Elite Eight. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Elite Eight. Okay. Houston Marquette in the Elite Eight. Okay.
Yep.
Had Kentucky going though. Had Kentucky to the
I
16.
had Kentucky in the Sweet 16.
All right.
Is that
South Carolina?
Did I have them over? Yeah, I had them over Oregon. Yeah. I missed that one. But I got Purdue and Tennessee, St. Mary's and Baylor.
Yeah. But you got that Final Four. St. Mary's to the Final Four?
Hey, look,
that's absolutely wild.
Somebody is going to make it to the Final Four that's not supposed to be there, man. We had San Diego State and FAU in the Final Four last year. Somebody's going to make it that's not supposed to be there. Like, it's going to happen. And St. Mary's is a 5 seed. It's not even that big.
Artie, you realize we do a sports podcast and both of us are going to have shitty brackets.
Look, man, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot.
All right, let's look at this one. Let's look at Artie's second one.
Second one.
He didn't trust Duquesne. Never trusted him.
I didn't trust
It was
Duquesne.
always Duquesne.
Didn't trust him.
Shout out my wife's uncle played football at Duquesne.
I think I picked the upset, and I had NC State over Kentucky in that bracket.
No shot.
Yeah. I like that DJ Burns kid, man. He can ball.
All right. What's this? Is this yours, Josh?
Hold on a second. I get mine up. So this is mine right here. All right.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay, Duquesne, Illinois, right there. I did have Oakland in the upset. Don't come for me.
Wow.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Okay. I do brackets.
But you got NC State in the Sweet 16, right?
You got Marquette
Hey,
winning the whole damn thing. NC State's out round of 64.
Hey, my
doubt.
first day though, as a first day bracket though, this is
You're
extremely
right hot.
clean. This is
You're
extremely
looking
clean.
good. You're looking good. Hey.
Okay, UConn, Bama, Marquette, and Creighton. Okay.
What a Final Four.
That's a more egregious Final Four than the one I had. Yeah, absolutely.
But you just said the Final Four we had last year.
Exactly.
It gets egregious.
And I wouldn't be shocked if you have 2 or 3 teams. You're like, how'd they get to the Final Four? Yes, I wouldn't be shocked if that happens.
Then my other bracket, okay, still trusted Duquesne the whole way. It was always
Duquesne.
Okay, this time got Kentucky going a little further. I'm not gonna lie. All right, had Oregon, Creighton, Texas. I trusted Nevada too much.
I did too.
In all actuality, they should have been able to close that game. So they choked.
I thought Nevada was. I thought they were
A sleeper?
underseeded. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were underseeded. All right, give the people what they want. Show them the atrocity. That is my bracket.
Hold on. I like that championship game, though. Arizona Gonzaga. I don't think I didn't see that championship game.
Hey, Arizona, but look, Gonzaga, Houston though, that's a good game.
Yeah, true.
I think
Caleb
there's
Love.
a stat. I think there's a stat going back to I want to say the 1990s that a team out west hasn't gone all the way. So Gonzaga and Arizona.
Also, got to look at that other game. You got Tristan Newton versus Love in Arizona. That would be a heater. That would be a heater.
That would be, yeah.
All right, Jared.
All right.
Hey, from that greatness.
Absolute shit.
My goodness.
Oh gosh. All right, let's look at this. Ooh.
Lots of red on there.
Lots of red, but that's what I mean. You can low key make a little bit of a comeback.
There's room for improvement, but yeah, Kentucky hurts.
What's that Final Four? UConn, UNC, Houston, and Tennessee. It's not a bad Final Four. I don't think Carolina gets there. It's not a bad Final Four.
I got money. I got money riding on Carolina to get to the Final Four. So
I think Carolina's fraudulent.
I think they're less fraudulent than Duke. I think Duke is.
None of us had Duke in the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
I agree, but I don't. What'd you say?
I said I'm a Duke fan. We didn't have them in the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
So, but yeah, I don't see. I see Carolina maybe figuring it out. They got embarrassed last weekend, but hey, that embarrassment won me some money. So that's. I thought if
tell the people who you bet on. Say it, Jared. Tell the people who you bet on.
I bet on the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Yep.
I thought, it's one of those hedge my happiness bets, Artie, where I was gonna hate that they won, but I was gonna at least make some money off of it.
Facts. I understand the pick.
I don't understand.
I bet wrong because I also bet on that game, and I bet the Carolina money line. Shouldn't have done it.
You don't understand what, Josh?
I don't understand how you have Tennessee getting to the Elite Eight. Like, Tennessee is so fraudulent.
Josh, there is no method to my madness here, and that's what this is March Madness. And anything can happen, as we saw. Oakland,
they can get hot though. I think Tennessee's got the talent to get hot.
So
I don't think they do it, but they got the talent to get hot.
Josh, I was filling this out right before I went into a meeting this morning, and I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be." I knew to myself, I was like, "This is not going to be good." But hey, it's content; people are going to like it. Yeah, Houston over UConn.
Colors.
Hey, I actually gave my daughter my phone and told her to press on the phone. So she'd honestly probably do a better job than I did this year.
Shout out Scarlett.
All right, Artie, moving along. Enough basketball talk. All right, baseball.
Yes.
ECU is 8-0 in their last 8 games.
The real program.
Getting hot. Starting to getting into conference play this weekend on the road at UTSA. I mean, absolutely dog walked Columbia all weekend, which Columbia is just they've been going through it.
Yeah.
ECU's currently 15-4. I believe still top 25 in RPI.
Mm-hmm.
Another sweep. Your thoughts on where we are for the Pirates right now?
Yeah, doing exactly what we need to do. We are on schedule. If I could say something about Pirate baseball, on schedule. That's exactly what we need to be doing. Sitting at number 10 in the country. I think the total runs scored was 33 against Columbia. So 33-9. I mean, it was absolute. Just dog walked them, like you said. Came back. I know we had a win against Elon. The offense is just killing it. You know, I mean, they're absolutely.
You don't have to worry about the bullpen when the offense is this good.
I mean, just 8, 9, 10 runs a clip every single game. It's absolutely absurd. So hopefully they can keep up this momentum. It's gonna tamper off a little bit. Obviously, you can't keep that up for 20, 30, 40 games in a row, but you know it's gonna tamper off a little bit. But I think we're on an 8-game winning streak. Haven't lost since March 3rd. Going into a matchup with UTSA, got a series with them. So I mean, looking really, really good. We're on schedule. Baseball team is absolutely on schedule.
Yeah, I would agree. Artie, I think conference play is going to do very well for us. We just got to keep winning the midweeks.
Yeah.
You take care of business in the midweek. ECU is going to be sitting pretty. You can drop a game here and there on the weekend, but you take care of business in the midweeks,
right?
They'll be all right. That's what ECU's MO has been. Look, being in the American Athletic Conference, which, I mean, let's be honest, isn't a world beater in baseball. You've got decent programs, but they're not to the level or to the caliber of East Carolina.
Right.
But that being said, just take care of your business. Beat whoever's on the schedule, right? You still got some big games against Duke and NC State later on in the year.
Yep.
You still got VCU coming into town later on in the year. So lots of good baseball to be played for the guys in purple and gold. I really want to say, like, I think I'll say this. I think ECU drops over under ECU losses in conference play. How many
conferences do we have?
I'll say 4.5. You've got the better part of 2.5 months. So 6 weekends, 18 games. I think it's probably more than that. I don't have it pulled up right in front of me.
Over under 4.5.
Yeah. Here, let me give you. I think ECU can sweep a lot of games in baseball, or a lot of series in baseball this year.
The conference schedule looks friendly. The team that we have, the conference schedule looks friendly. It does.
Yeah, just looking at the schedule, because it goes right up to right before Memorial Day. So you got UTSA. Go ahead, Josh.
I was saying there's 27 games in the conference.
27. Okay, yeah. We added some teams. I forgot. Okay, so 27. I'll change it. I think I'll set the over-under on losses at 6.5. Your thoughts?
I think 22-5 in conference play. So we're under. Yeah, 22-5.
Happily take that.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte was supposed to be pretty decent in baseball this year. They look like absolute cheeks. I mean, really, UAB doesn't look terrible. Florida Atlantic doesn't look terrible, but Memphis is usually pretty good. South Florida's pretty good, but I mean, there's nobody on the schedule in baseball that scares me, especially when you have a 1-2 punch in you Savage and Root. I mean, I don't know if there's a better 1-2 punch in the conference. I don't think so. Like that 1-2 punch is going to compete with a lot of good programs across the country.
Right.
Just Friday, Saturday, rolling out those two guys, and their stat lines look very similar, and they are just absolutely dominating teams right now.
I mean, we're on a current 8-game win streak. How long do you think we can take this win streak? I mean, you're looking at the current schedule right now. How long do you think we can run this win streak up?
UNCW next week is going to be a good one. That's home. I always worry about like a Sunday game, like that getaway day. I do think I'll say if we sweep this weekend, I think we sweep this weekend, beat UNCW, and then sweep UAB at home going into NC State. So what's that? 15?
Yeah.
And then NC State's gonna. I mean, NC State looks. NC State's okay. I don't think they're as good as what they looked early on.
But it's still just a matchup, right? It's an away game, and it's going to be. But if we can go into that one on a 15-game heater, Man, oh man.
Yeah. That's lots of good baseball. And the season sets up, the schedule sets up nicely for the Pirates. I mean, you go into NC State, say hello to your old friend, Alec Makarevich, and then take their lunch money and come back home. Then you go on the road the next weekend or that weekend against Florida Atlantic, back home against Elon, try to get some retribution for losing on a walk-off to Old Dominion. Man, Chris Kaler, he looks like the guy that's going to be the guy on the midweek games.
Yep.
So excited about that. But that week you do have two midweeks before going into the Charlotte series.
Hey, look, my biggest wish for the rest of the season, May 14th. You already know what it is. May 14th, Campbell. I need some get back. I know I'm looking ahead. That's way ahead, but I need some get back. It's my biggest wish for the rest of the season. I need some Campbell get back because I'm tired of them Camels.
So, some Camel get back. I like that. Anything else already on baseball? Want to give a shout out. Carter Cunningham hitting streak up to 19 games. Dude is on an absolute mission at the plate. Very, very exciting to see what he's doing. And I mean, he's doing it with the long ball. He's doing it with the base hits. This guy just gets on base. He just gets on base. So, yeah, Carter Cunningham. That's I'm loving it. All right. We already talked about the upcoming schedule, UTSA this weekend on the road. Man, their stadium looks like a high school stadium. I've seen high school
stadiums. Say like that, man. It's not their fault. Well, it is, but
come on now, do better. I get Old Dominion looking like that. I don't get UTSA looking like that. But an Old Dominion has a nice stadium. I'm not saying that they don't, but look at UTSA Stadium. And then UNCW, the rivalry game. ECU went to extras with UNCW, last week, 2 weeks ago at this point. So, yeah, that'll be a fun one in Clark Leclerc. All right, Artie, anything else before we start wrapping up?
Nah, it's been a pretty good episode, pretty good show. I think we covered all the bases. I got nothing else to add to it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, then walk the plank.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I do. I mentioned it earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and do it because it is official. And that is one Justin Fields and his Chicago Bears career. I was a big
Bears.
I really was. But I always liked Justin Fields, was never in love with Justin Fields as our starting quarterback. And now we have clarity. I'm actually happy that we went ahead and just did it. So because now we know we're going to be drafting Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall pick. Do I think he's a little overrated? Yes, I do think he's a little overrated, but do I think he can still be a pretty good quarterback in the league? Absolutely. But man, I hate the way it ended for Justin. I do hope he goes to Pittsburgh and balls out. Like I really, because I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, but I'm also a big Justin Fields fan. So I hope Russell gets the reins for a couple of years, balls out, does what he does, rides off to the sunset, and then Justin takes over. In a perfect world, that's what would happen. But I'm wishing him nothing but the best. But RIP and walk the plank to Justin Fields' Chicago Bears career. So.
Mine's pretty simple. I think South Florida should have been in the tournament.
They got robbed. Yeah, they absolutely got robbed. Yeah.
Look,
I agree with that.
South Florida absolutely got robbed of being in the NCAA tournament.
Clearly the best all year.
I mean, going into the conference tournament, 24th in the country. Yeah, they made it to the semis and then out.
But Jared, how do you go from the 24th best team in the country to not even in the field of 64?
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
I don't get it. Especially if you're gonna go ahead and give the American 2 seeds, then give it to South Florida.
And South Florida beat FAU in the head-to-head.
So that's my walk the plank. Once again, the NCAA gets it wrong. Yeah. Gambling corner, Artie or Josh, do you want to take this over, Josh?
Sure, I can hop in. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. These are your locks of the week. I'll come with my locks next week.
All right, my locks of the week. I'm going to start off right here at the top with Longwood versus Houston. I would crash down on the under. All right. You look right here. The under hits more often than not for both these teams. And I think Houston's going to keep it slow, keep it steady with that defense. I still think it's going to be a blowout, but it's just, I mean, the score's just going to be low.
Yeah.
So I would crash on that one.
Can I say something, Josh? And
Yeah.
I picked Houston. I wanna go over this stat that I found. In every tournament since 2021, a top 2 seed has lost in the first round to a team with a phallic euphemistic name. All right. You catch my drift? 2021, Oral Roberts defeated number 2 Ohio State. 2022, St. Peter's defeated number 2 Kentucky. 2023, number 16 Farley Dickinson defeated number 1 Purdue. That's 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. In 2024, number 1 Houston will face number 16 Longwood. Will they be the next team to fall victim to this trend?
No chance.
Shout out.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that.
No chance. But this Houston team got some dogs though. Like they got some straight dogs. They're not losing a Longwood.
No. No, yeah. Houston all the way. Houston's gonna win the championship. And y'all are gonna look back at the times that y'all were laughing at me earlier in this podcast, and you're gonna say Jared was right.
I mean, I've got Houston in one of my brackets too. I'm not, nobody's disagreeing with you.
Okay, well, it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
All right. The next one, Oregon versus Creighton. For this one,
It's gonna be a
you
good game.
gotta get the over. You gotta get the over on this one.
Yeah.
You can just look at this. Look at this. 20-14, 16-16. After Creighton had a really good offensive game this last in the first round, you gotta get the over. Gotta get the over. Cash in.
Love it.
I would agree with the over on that. These are 2 high scoring offenses. This is gonna be a good game. Oregon Creighton's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be a good game. And then, last but not least, Arizona, get that 8.5 point favorite right there. They cover the spread. I mean, 21-12 against the spread, they cover it. All right. And I mean, Dayton, they 16-15. That's mediocre. But when you're 8.5 points and it's Arizona, got to take Arizona.
So Arizona against the spread.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been following Josh on some of his bets, and he's done me all right. So give him a check. All right, Artie, Josh, anything else before we wrap this thing up?
I've got
nothing.
Cool. Well, once again, thanks for listening to the Boneyard Podcast. Once again, we're proud to be members of the Variety Sports Network.
Yes.
Follow us on social media at Boneyard Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at the Boneyard Podcast on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube at Boneyard Podcast. If you do, you can walk, or if you do, you're a friend of the podcast. If you don't, walk the damn plank. I almost got those mixed up. We don't want you walking the plank. We want you subscribing. And then leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. 5-star review. Once again, friend of the podcast for life. If you don't, Artie, what can they do?
Walk the damn plank.
Damn right. All right. Artie, let's get out of here.
Hey, as always, Pirate Nation, you know what it is. Take a shower, you filthy animals. Wash your hands, wash your butts. We out of here. Deuce.
All right, then.
Peace.